In today's class, we're going to be working outside again because it's so pretty. And let's just come down, set yourself up, get as many props as you need that will be supporting for sitting so that you're comfortable. And then once you come, just cross your legs or sit on your heels or sit in a chair. Have your hands with the palms face down at first. So just easy sitting and easy resting of the arms. And for a few breaths, just notice the sensation of breathing and the sensations in the body. As you have your eyes closed, if that suits, and you allow the weight to come down, see if you can evenly feel the weight in the left and the right sitting bone into the ground. Make micro movements to distribute the weight so that you're balanced left and right. And feel the sense of the front body and the back body even, so we're not using the front or the back to hold ourselves up. We can have ease in the body. And the weight comes down in the pelvis, and you start to build the awareness as if you're a hen sitting in a nest, and so it's this round, wide seat in its downness. A few more breaths in the nest. And then just bring one hand up to the upper chest and one to the low belly below the belly button. And let's just notice where we're breathing. So still feel like you're coming from the nest and just breathing in and breathing out. Notice where the expansions are in the chest or the belly, the sides, the front, the back. So before we manipulate the breath, we need to know what is our own signature breathing. And then now, on purpose, let's breathe and expand a little bit into the belly, or just feel the sensation of breath on purpose in the abdomen, in the front of the belly. And it contracts slightly as you exhale. Inhale and exhale. See if when we're breathing in the belly, you can feel an expansion at the sides of the waist as well. Let's shift our hands to that. So it's kind of the sides of the waist and the sides of the, right um, at the hip bones here. So breathe wide. You want to feel your hands being moved um, in a lateral or a horizontal way to the sides. And then move one hand back to the chest and one to the front belly and feel the expanse in the low back. So the front of the chest and the belly are a bit more quiet, but we feel this expanse that's happening right at the sacrum and right at a bit the lumbar spine. And the whole belly as one. And now breathe into the front of the chest so the belly's quiet and the chest expands in the front. Expands in the front and then it just settles back as you exhale. Hands to the side ribs and expand here. So feeling a little bit of a pressure of the backs of the fingers to the side ribs and let those expand as you inhale and then they come in as you exhale. Bring one hand to the upper chest and one to the belly and feel the expansion in the back of the ribs and the back of the thoracic spine. And the whole chest as one, the front, the back, and the sides. Feel a little bit of an elevation. Relax the shoulders. Now let's come into the belly and expand the belly like a balloon evenly. And then the whole chest and ribs. And then exhale, relaxing the chest, relax the belly out so it can then be drawn in slightly at the end of the breath. So inhale, belly, chest, exhale, chest, and then the belly. One more, belly, chest, exhale the chest, and then the abdomen. Take the hands down and just sit and relax. Okay, good. Open your eyes. You can change how you're sitting if you'd like. I'm just going to change the cross of my legs, take the other leg in front. So we can use some Sensi balls, or if you have some blocks nearby, get those. Or if you have a couple tennis balls, something to put under your armpits. Um, if you don't have anything, just follow along and imagine the domes of the armpits. We're going to just put these in the armpits, expand wide through the chest, and then relax the tops of the shoulders down. So let's apply this now. So just putting in the balls under in the armpits. Okay. Lift the ribs, feel the opening of the domes, and then just relax and let the sides of the neck glide down all the way to the tops of the shoulders and down the arms. But you're still keeping an elevation of the whole rib carriage or rib cage, like it's from the front and the back and the sides, just like what we were doing with our breath just now. But now we're going to inhale and exhale and keep that elevation and keep this relaxed quality at the tops. So just a few more breaths like this. And then just slowly remove the balls from your armpits. Put those to the side and just see if we can Feel the expanse and feel a bit of a hollowing right here in the front of the deltoid of the shoulder. So sometimes if I just bring my arm a bit forward, I'll feel that there's a bit of a pocket right in here. So it's the opening that you want. And some people don't have that opening naturally. The muscles kind of push it out. And so we're just looking to hollow it. And sometimes you can feel like a suctioning in or a yawning, like that, like a big open mouth inhale right in here and also in the armpit. So you can see how you can just really activate those domes when you open your palms and feel the domes in the palms and a little bit of a bend in the elbow, a little bit of a bend, just a natural ease in the wrist. And then relax the arms down, relax the shoulders down from the skin, but keep the elevation of the ribs. And then relax the whole structure and just see if the shoulders feel a bit easy. Let's do some neck rolls. And when you're going around in whatever direction you're going to start to go in, just allow yourself to stay on the real kind side of sensation. So we're not hitting any edges when we're going in here, and we're feeling the space and a sense of hydration or lubricating through the vertebrae. So just continue on. You can keep the rib cage elevated and the armpits domed and the tops of the shoulders relaxing. And that will give us a lot more space through the neck. And the next time we come down, let's just come up and pause. And then drop and go in the other direction. And I can carry quite a bit of tension in this region and around my neck and shoulders because of other things that I do all day long. And when I do this focus of lifting the rib cage, opening the domes, and then relaxing that down, my neck just feels easy. And you realize that the tension doesn't have to be there, it doesn't have to be present. Come to the center and then just come back up. Okay, let's take the right hand over to the right. Face the fingers either away from you or face them forward, whatever feels natural as you're leaning into this arm as a kickstand. And let's just round the undercarriage like this and bring this other arm up and round the outer. So that's the left side is rounding in a big curve and the right side is in a smaller curve. And I'm also just slightly lifting my right sitting bone. So we'll just feel this for a few breaths. Inhale up and back into center. Take the left hand into a comfortable kickstand over to the left. Start to lift the left sitting bone up and curve this in a slow curve and make, or a short curve, and then make this other right side a bigger curve. Sometimes I feel the need to bend my kickstand arm just because I have a bit more movement. So just see what works for you. Keeping the head and neck long with the spine. So we haven't just dropped the head here. You could, but we're not right now. And inhale, come up and come back to center. So let's now take the right hand over in the kickstand again. Now this time we're going to really feel the right sitting bone down in the ground, and we're going to lengthen from there all the way through the right ribs to the right armpit. And then now when we bring this left arm around, we're straight on both sides and feel a bit of a turning of the bottom shoulder to stack so that you are in one line here with the left shoulder over top of the right. So we're not curved, we're straight. So it's a different sensation, keeping the left sitting bone down, the right sitting bone down. Breathing. Inhale up and down. Over to the left. So you feel the left sitting bone down, lengthen those ribs all the way to the left armpit. So keeping that long and then bringing this right side long as well. Both sitting bones are in the ground. And just that slight turn of the torso. So the hips stay where they are. And just the slight turn of the torso or the shoulders so that you can feel stacked. And the torso is between two panes of glass. Inhale up and down. Okay, let's just take our legs now in a different position. We're going to take let's do it with the right on top. So the right shin is parallel with the left shin that's on the bottom. So maybe that's the way it is. Otherwise, like sometimes the knee's really high up and maybe that's okay. Or maybe you start to feel some real gristle build in the hips. And so instead you just take this top foot, this right foot forward. But we have a bit of a shorter distance between the knees, so it's not a big wider cross leg like this. So it's shorter distance. So see what happens when you do this. Also come on more height. It will give you some more space in the hips. All right, so sitting in a position like this that might work, and take the hands right onto the hip bones. And we're just going to go tipping, just tipping back so it's a real easy sensation. And what you want to feel are both sitting bones even and that the weight is distributed evenly over both when you tip back or then when we go and tip forward. Okay, so hands at the hip bones and just tip back and up and back and up and one more back and up easily. And then forward and just up, not back. So that's it. We're not like rocking in this particular version. And then forward and just up and forward and up. And then tip over to the left as you lift your right sitting bone a little bit and the torso's curved. And then just up and to the left sitting bone and up, left sitting bone and up, left sitting bone and up, to the right sitting bone and up. And of course, it's hard to lift now back over to the right, the left sitting bone, but we're trying to. And up, and see the curve of the body. And up, let's just do one more that way. Okay, and then just up. Now let's just take ourselves forward and then go over to the left, to the back, to the right, to the front, to the left, to the back, to the right, forward, to the left, to the back, to the right, and then forward, and then just slowly dock into neutral. Good. And then we'll take ourselves forward and to the right, and back, and the left, and front, and to the right, and back. You're feeling one sitting bone, two sitting bones, one sitting bone, two sitting bones, one sitting bone, two sitting bones, and then just dock into neutral. Good. Clasp the hands, push the palms away, take the backs back, widen through the side ribs. And then come up, pushing the palms to the sky, widen the side ribs, and feel the armpits go a bit forward and up so that it's an extra reach. And then see if there's a little bit of an arcing, lifting the side ribs by the armpits specifically, feeling that lifting to turn into a bit of a back bend. And up, and then just relax. And then another lift and arch over to the right. Still pushing the palms away if that works. Keeping on both sitting bones, keeping your hips still down, but it's really this the rib cage coming up and over to the left. And then up and then twist to the right. And around and twist to the left. And up. Slowly take the hands down and just loosely clasp them. Roll the shoulders around and then squeeze the shoulder blades back as you lift the arms a little bit off the back if you can. Let the arms relax and then come forward just to where your body moves without any kind of gristle. So you feel this gathering of the pubic bone in the low belly, feeling a widening at the back of the pelvis. And then come up. Let's switch. So now we'll have, if you need to massage your knees, do some massage. See that you're taking care of the legs. And then we'll come into it on this side. Again, this is a thing where the shins are more parallel, the knees are closer together, they're not far apart. It does something different for the hips. But it's a different side. So maybe this is the side where that leg has to just go quite a bit forward. Or obviously, if you've got knee problems, sometimes you need to just build up some support under them or straighten a leg. Okay. So now we know where we're going with the tipping. Keep thinking 2 sitting bones or 1 sitting bone as we're going. So let's just have the hands at the hip bones right here and go back and up and back and up and back and up and forward and up and forward and up and forward and up. And we'll go to the left and up and the left and up and the left and up and the right and up, the right and up and the right and up. Go forward to the left, back, right, forward, left, back, right, forward, left, back, right, forward, and dock yourself just into neutral, straight up and down. Let the dust settle. And then we'll go forward to the right and back and left and forward and right and back and left and forward and right and back and left and forward, and just dock into neutral. Just feel how this retrains the ease of movement. And we sometimes are surprised by the new sense of when we dock into neutral. What is neutral? Once we've loosened around. Okay, palms pushed forward, take the back back. Up to the sky. And lift the ribs and make it a back bend a little bit. Back straight up and over to the right. Push the palms. And up and push them over to the left. Both sitting bones are down. And up, twist to the right. And around, twist to the left. And come around. Slowly release the arms and clasp them behind. Roll the shoulders around a little bit and then squeeze them back. Slowly soften. Come forward. And when you feel the gathering of the pubic bone and the low belly together, that will widen the back of the pelvis. And then let's come up. Okay, slowly release the legs. Just pause with the knees bent so that you can stand on your feet and just sit and feel neutral through the back and in the mind. So let's come into eagle leg. So we'll thread this bottom leg underneath, so it's the left one. And we have the heel on the side of the hip. So this could be one version where the knees are stacked, the feet are coming out at the even, so we don't have one foot here and one foot back. They come even wherever they come out. Also, this might not, you might feel like your hip is really high up, so you'll need to put a cushion underneath so that you can feel both sitting bones in the downness. If it doesn't work, you come with this knee up and stand on it here or on this side of the leg. So whatever's going to be your place today, let's come into this position. All right. Take the left hand on the outside of this right and the right hand come behind. Feel both sitting bones down and just feel a little bit of a twist of the shoulders and the upper ribs. Turning your head just in an easy way. Just check to see that the neck and head are, have ease, and then just see where it can go turning to the right. Just breathe in your twist. Inhale, slowly come around. And let's take the right arm over to the right, and we're going to do the curving. So the lower rib cage curves, the upper rib cage curves, and you just feel yourself coming where your left sitting bone is still down on the ground. And you may feel that you can expand your left ribs a little bit more to create more of a dynamic sense. Um, and it's just really from the inside out. So it doesn't really matter what it looks like from the outside. It's how does it feel? Do you feel this big curve all the way from this left hip, through the sides of the waist, through the ribs, through the armpit? And this arm, this upper left arm has a bit of a draping quality, slight extra extension through the index finger for connectivity through the body. Just breathe. Inhale, come all the way up with that left arm. And then let's keep the left elbow on top of the right as we come into eagle arms. The arms are imagining being parallel to the ground, the upper arms are. And we have a leaning quality of the elbows leaning in towards each other for a bit of resistance. And resist the knees together as well. So the knees and the arms have some action. If we can't have the palms making contact, have the backs of the hands making contact. And let's just feel the sensation of moving the shoulder blades wide from the spine and coming forward towards the front of the body and the wall in front. Slowly release those arms. Take the hands just down. I anchor my feet a little bit with my hands, taking them to the fronts of the ankles, if that suits, and then just coming forward. So now what I want to do is I want to feel my sitting bones going back, but then I want to feel my tail scooching back and down to meet it, and that will create a bandha connection and keep my pelvis wide. So just come where you can and maybe even drop your head. Breathing into the back body. Inhale, coming up. Just shift your weight back, and that just allows the legs to unfurl. Do your pause if you need to assess how the legs and the knees feel. And then we'll come into the other side. So now my right leg is the lower leg, left is the top. There's Piper. Good. Go on, puppy. Good dog. Sometimes it's nice to just remember that, our yoga practice is for us, but we're also still in the world with our, you know, with our loved ones and with the plants and with nature, and that the sense of being breathing in the world to our own body, but also the world is breathing us in and exhaling us. And so this sensation of connectivity can be quite beautiful. All right, let's turn twisting to the left. Right hand on the outside, left hand behind. Softening the neck and then just feeling the sweetness of a twist. And noticing what happens with breathing when you've got this constriction. Inhale, coming around. Put your left hand over to the side and arc. Right sitting bone is down, and you're just seeing if you can expand through the ribs on the right, but also let a bit of a heaviness happen through the hip on the right hip. Come up leading with his right arm and keep it up because that elbow is going to be the top elbow as you take your elbows together. Lean the knees together and find the meeting of energies of the elbows, palms together if they can, or backs of palms, and bringing the bundle of your elbows forward in front of you. Shoulder blades wide from the spine and just breathe in this connection and a slight resistance. Soften the arms, taking them down. Maybe the hands come in front of the ankles and they come into your forward. Inhale, coming up. So we're going to take the legs out wider. I'm going to turn sideways so I can be on my mat, so I have a softness for my seat. So just whatever the position of wide is, and come up onto some height. When you come up onto height, sometimes your knees are so elevated and you don't want them to hyperextend down into the ground. So you can do a couple things. One of them is put a little ball or a rolled up sock here for the back of your knees. Or you can also bring the toes towards you, lift the heels up, and then anchor the heels down and push away with the toes. And that brings the knees up. There's just this natural elevation and activation through the legs. Okay, finding your position. And let's just tip forward and back. Just nice, easy forward and back. And one more forward, and just one more back and dog. And left and right. So you can really feel now when we're not with the legs piled on top of each other that you can, when you shift your weight to the left sitting bone, the right sitting bone can lift as you curve the body like this. We're really working with control of the sides of the waist through the whole class so far, feeling the independent movement around the thighs, around the waist and the hips and the ribs and the armpits and the neck. Okay, and then let's just come back into neutral, pause. We'll do some circles. Come forward to the left and back to the right. And just continue. And forward and just dock into neutral. And then go forward and to the right and back. And the next time we come forward, pause and just let yourself dock into neutral. Stay here, let the dust settle. Let the parts of the mind understand that ease of movement that you've just shown it. Good. Palms together, push the palms away. Round the back, coming up, arcing a little bit back, coming neutral up, and then let's settle the back a little bit. So I need to widen the back of the pelvis before arcing over now to the right, pushing the palms away. Coming up, widen the back. So I feel a bit of a sandwiching in here with my belly to the back of my pelvis, and then arcing over to the left. Coming up, twisting to the right, and twisting to the left. Coming back, relaxing the arms down, clasping them. Roll the shoulders and then squeeze back. And release the arms. And let's just test a forward. I keep my arms just behind me and I test a bit of a forward fold and then come up. And now we're going to just move over to the right. So when we come going over to one side and the other, I'll take one hand to my low back and one hand in here as a bit of a support. And so I'm going to be my shoulders and will be moving the ribs as well. So a bit of a shortening on the right when I come here and a little bit lengthening on the left and then over here to this side as well. So just at your own pace, moving from side to side, keeping a full quality in the back of the pelvis. So we're not in a back bend when we're going here. So that's why I want my hand here to remind my back to stay a little bit plump backwards and also to find ease in the movement. So what part of you needs to stay kind of strong, contained, and what part can just relax? And one of the areas that I find is lovely that it starts to relax is right here at the tops of the thighs. Okay, finish on your opposite side. For me, that's my left, and I come back up, and then I do another test forward and up. Good. support your knees to come in. Take the soles of the feet together. I'm going to just be in a loose sort of shaping of Baddha Konasana, so I'm not like scooching my heels up tight up into my groin. I'm just going to keep them at a loose, but it's not a full butterfly pose. So just something easy that you can sustain. And then the hands come back as a little bit of a quick kickstand. Let the chest sink back and the shoulder heads come forward. And then we're going to twist over to the right. So use your right elbow to widen the right shoulder blade as you twist, keeping the back kind of rounded convexly backwards. So it's not a back bend again as we twist over here to the right. Feel an extra lengthening on this left side of the body. Come back to your kickstands. Lift the chest like a little pop. Sag the chest. Let the shoulder heads come up. Twisting over to the left. So now it's your left elbow or hand is widening the left shoulder blade away from the spine so it's not sinking in. We're feeling a different kind of quality through the upper back as we're twisting. Coming back, lift the chest, drop the chest, twist to the right. Come back, lift, drop, twist to the left. Come back, lift, drop, twist to the right. Come back and lift, drop, twist to the left. And this is the last twist. Feel it all the way from the right hip bone. Come back and pop and drop. And just stay here. A couple breaths. Okay, good. Bring your knees up. And we're going to come into downward facing dog. So we'll do that same version that we've been doing where we take the toes are tucked under and the hips are back and the hands are in right alignment, but then we soften the arms, but the whole rib cage lifts and widens. And so the armpit domes open and we feel the connectivity of deep down in the pubic bone and the low belly, but the elbows are heavy. Inhale here, exhale, just push the hands and the feet to engage the arms exactly as they're needed. Come into your down dog. Hips are in the sky. We're breathing. Let's lift the heels up high and then take the heels over to the right. And now we'll feel some length on the left ribs as the hips are over to the right. The weight is in the right hand. Come back up. Take the heels up to the sky and then over to the left. So now we feel this on this other side. So the weight is on the left hand, the left hips are off center, and you feel this length on the right side of the ribs. Come back into the center. Pause in your down dog. Now just shift the sitting bones up to the sky and then lengthen the tail back down to meet it so that you've got containment in the pelvis. And then walk the feet towards the hands. Bend the knees quite deeply and let yourself rest and hang first. Keep the knees deeply bent as you unfurl to come up. Feel yourself come up through the center line of the body and mind. Pause with the hands at the heart. Okay, we're going to step well, for me, it's going to be my left leg back, depending on which way you are facing me with the video. So I'm taking my left leg back, and then I'm wanting to have my feet slightly pigeon-toed in, so my toes are in more, my heels are a little bit wider, pointed in, and lift up so you've got the outer sides of the feet lifted off the ground, so you're all on the big toe, the inner arches, the inner line of the heel, and then spread out through the whole foot and feel your legs engaged coming up to the belly. Hands come up to the hip crease. Lift the rib cage and just feel the length as you just fold forward. And once you come into this position, just check to see that the knees aren't hyperextending backward. You've got a little bit of a bend at the knees, and release the hands to the ankles if that suits you. And the head is upside down wherever it can be, letting the head relax so that the muscles at the sides of the neck and the front and back are just dropped. Breathe in this position. Now inhale, come up, and we're going to take our left hand over to the outside of the right foot. So we're kind of standing on our fingers. So you can bend your knees to make this happen a little bit better or easier. Now I'm taking my right hand to the ankle, and I'm going to push down with my right hand, and I'm going to pull with my left. And what I want to feel is length all along this left side of my body. So I'm pushing my foot down and I'm pulling with my left side so that my ribs are expanding and my shoulder blade, the sides, that whole side of my left arm has a tug. And so I'm just going to create this tensioning through the line here. It's kind of a funny thing to describe, that I push down with my right hand to stabilize my foot, but then I pull with the left arm. And I'm trying to round my ribs a little bit more in a convex way on the left. Slowly come out of that, come back into the center, pause. And then take the right hand to the outside of that foot and the fingers wrap underneath. Then this left hand comes onto the ankle and you push that away as you pull on the right hand, rounding convexly the right ribs and the shoulder blade. And you're feeling a nice tug. Just areas that are hard to get at on your own without some special instructions. So let's just stay here and breathe for a few more moments. And slowly release. Take the hands maybe to the ground or to your ankles again. Inhale, look up. Take your hands to the front of the mat. Take that front foot back and come back to down dog. Just pause in your downward facing dog. Bend the knees and come down and come into child's pose. Couple breaths in child's pose. Maybe make a pillow for your head with your hands. Inhale, coming up, and use your hands. Take your knees a little bit wider, and now we're going to thread the needle. So walk your left hand a bit forward, and we're going to take the right arm through and lengthen that arm. You come down onto the right shoulder. and this left hand is in the mat, and it's kind of pushing you back a bit, and you're plumping your lumbar and your pelvis, and you're trying to square the hips as well. So they're trying to stay a bit neutral, but they will be feeling tugged. Breathe in this twist, just making sure it's not a back bend twist, so the lumbar is long and full. Inhale, coming up. Take your right hand forward, and let's thread through with the left hand. Inhale, coming up. And now we'll take the hands a little forward, both of them, and we're going to let the lumbar kind of waterfall down from the pelvis. Now maybe we come onto just our forearms. Drop the head. So we can stay in this position right here where the back is sagging down, and so we're not having any pain or discomfort. The sitting bones are up to the sky. Or in some cases, you might have a move in the upper chest and in the shoulders to take the arms forward, or even one forward like this. Okay, so I'm going to take both of mine forward. And when I come into this position, I'm going to be thinking that my armpits are wide, and that I'm bringing my chest to the ground. Slowly move out of this. It can be kind of an intense position for some people. Keep your knees wide, and let's come into a wide-kneed child pose. Make a pillow for your head if you'd like, or turn your head to the side. Okay, inhale and come up. So let's just walk ourselves forward so that we can lay down, and we'll be bringing our knees in towards the chest. So coming down, both knees in towards the chest, and just rock a couple times from side to side. And then find your stillness, be at ease in the body. Holding the right knee in and glide out with the left. Feel a bit of a resistance, so you're holding the right knee and the knee's trying to escape a little bit. So not your biggest argument, but just a little bit. And you can keep this left leg hovering above the ground or take the heel down. Feel a bit of a suction of the pubic bone coming up towards the chest, and tuck the chin in. A little bit of a micro bend in this left straightened leg. You can see my feet are both slightly active, trying not to be too stiff, but they are going to be a bit active. Come in, pause, longer breath. And then hold on to the left knee as you glide out with the right. Again, A slight resistance with holding this left knee. The heel is up or on the ground on this straightened right leg. Feel the pubic bone gather all the way up towards the chest. Chin is tucked in. Bring the leg in, pause. And then take the feet down. Let yourself be comfortable and just come into your Shavasana. We've done lots of kind of low things, but they're deep things too. They're very mindful what we've been doing, thinking about ways to move the sides of the body. And when we don't move the sides, the lateral sides of the body very often, we can't get there. That's not a big part of our normal day, then it can bring up a different style of emotions or different sensations in the mind. Just be with what is and relax. Create a sweetness in the mind. Relaxed in the belly. Expand your inhale. Maybe move the legs in towards the body. You can roll over to your side and come up, or just rock and roll to come up. Let yourself be in transition from Shavasana Just sitting. Bring the palms together at the heart center, and we'll come into Yoga Mudra to seal the practice. Yoga Mudra. Namaste.